let's start with Tech, that game. Talk about just kind of that game, what you guys learned from it, because there is always lessons learned from those kinds of games.
Yeah, man, tough one. They're good, is what we learned from, which we knew. Yeah, anytime you jump in a game like that, the wind pushing out 25-30, we knew our backs were against the wall. That's what their offense is built to do, is slug. And yeah, they did a great job with it. They set the tone early on, put pressure on us right out the gate, first pitch of the game. Their offense, 1 through 9, is as good as anyone we're going to play all year. So they did a great job, and so you end up getting kind of a lopsided loss there on a Wednesday. I was proud of the way our guys bounced back, on the Friday, and put ourselves in position to win another series, right out of the chute there, versus no linger from a tough Wednesday night game here at home.
It seems like you guys took that and made it your own. Run ruling UC Davis twice into that series. How important is it to be able to keep winning those series, getting those series wins, even if it's not in conference?
Yeah, no, I think every game we're playing right now, we're trying to win. Tomorrow night, we're going to try to win against TCU, and then we've got CBU here this weekend as well. So, no, I was proud of the group again. There's always the potential with so many new guys and younger players specifically to maybe let one loss linger and blend into another game. And then if you don't get off to a good start, you're just in a situation where it's hard to get out of if you allow yourself to do that. So our sport's tough, man. Like, there's just so many opportunities for this weekend. Example, there's 3 games over the course of 72 hours, and they're trying to win the game just like we are. And Glaze gave us a good start on Friday. We got to, I guess, the 6-run 7th inning or 6th inning and held there to have the short game on a Friday night, which was needed after Wednesday's long game. Ian gave us another good start there and allowed us a short game again. So I was really proud of our offense. I thought we did a really good job of getting on time some pitches early on. Had a really good offensive weekend. Even yesterday, some balls were hit real hard and real well. We just came up a little short. So another series win. That's several in a row for us. We'll hope we can keep on doing that down the stretch, and that's what's going to begin to separate us maybe from other teams in our league. So it's going to be needed. If you look at the WAC right now, there's a lot of really good teams at the top. I think we're, with the bye weekend, we're 10-5, but I think there's 4 or maybe 5 other teams that have 10 wins. So I think we're all right there neck and neck. I do feel pretty good about who we played to this point. I think we played some of the teams that are right there with us with those 10 wins, and some of those games have been on the road. So each weekend's its own, man. We'll have an opportunity to play CBU here this weekend, which will be a big week.
And it's your first Friday win in probably I think 5 series.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So how good did that feel to be?
Not that we were counting, but yeah, that's right.
How good did that feel to get that Friday win after kind of not being able to earlier this year?
Yeah, it was weird because we didn't get the Sunday win yesterday. So it's either way when you're a coach, man. Like, there's just, I guess if you're going to lose a game on Friday, it doesn't have near as long enough time or as long of a time to linger because you got to show back up and play at 3. You lose on Sunday, you got all Sunday afternoon to not be in a great mood sometimes. But at the end of the weekend, you play 2 out. If you can win 2 out of 3, you should feel good. At this level, obviously, when you get to Sunday with the chance to sweep, and you don't, that's the frustrating piece sometimes. But no, it was great to get off to a good start. It gives a sense of, I don't know, you've got a little more margin throughout the weekend when you do win on Fridays. So we've not had that opportunity the last 5 weeks, but it was great to see, Glaze jump out there and give us another good start. I think that's 3rd or 4th in a row. So this month's been really good for him to give us a chance to win on Fridays.
And yesterday, kind of the first time Brett has struggled a little bit. Not necessarily his fault. Some balls find some holes. But how good is it to get him through some adversity, kind of be able to learn off of that, especially coming into this last stretch of the year? How good is it that he's able to take those lessons? Yeah,
I'm sure Brett would tell you he wasn't as sharp. Now, we didn't defend the field well behind him either. Yesterday, we just didn't play well enough to win. That's what I told our guys. It wasn't. I think when you do win by a big score on Friday, if you follow college baseball and you win by a big score on Saturday, that usually means the other team probably didn't use their best bullpen arms. That means it's going to be probably a lower scoring game on Sunday, typically, I think, if you kind of follow our game. So I think our staff and our team knew, hey man, they're going to have their guns lined up, so to speak. They're winning bullpen. So and they ran them out there. They just did a better job of putting some pressure on us. We didn't handle it early. They kind of got out in front. I thought we responded really well. Scored 3 in the 5th. And then there was, a lost ball in the air and a missed play here, the 9th, that kind of gives him one, and we just didn't do enough offensively to cover it. So Brett's going to be fine. I think he's, stuff was good yesterday. Like to your point, they put a few balls in play and ended up leading to some runs and some extended innings. So I've got no doubt he'll be ready to rock and roll this weekend and jump right back in there, which we'll need.
And now you at Cobb Baptist, goes back into conference play. Talk about that game, that matchup, how important it is to kind of keep the ball rolling and keep winning series.
Yeah, so we got TCU tomorrow night here at home. I think that's our main focus, certainly, to try to put together a game plan for them. They took 2 out of 3 from Texas Tech, who we just saw last weekend or last midweek. So I'm sure they're going to roll in here feeling, pretty good about themselves for holding that offense down. So once we get through that, we'll have CBU, who's traditionally it's a strong power in our league. They do a great job. Gary's a great coach. He's won a lot of baseball games in his tenure there and other places. So they'll be physical. They'll have some really good arms. They've got probably the most experience in our league when you look at like the preseason all-conference voting. Man, they led in that. So they've got a lot of pieces returning. We split with them last year. They won 2 out of 3 at home at their place, and then we beat them the first game of the tournament. So we've only played them 4 times in my tenure. So there's still a little bit of, what do they like to do? What do we like to do going forward? So whoever pitches the best, defends the field the best, and has some time of hitting will probably win the series. That's how it normally lines up. So but looking forward to hosting 3 of our last 5 weekends here at home in WAC, and that's it. Now we've got 5 weekends remaining. So I think when you look at it, every game is really, really important, but they're not any more important than the first 15 we played, I think, when you look at it. So they're just your next game, so it feels a little bit more important, I think, as you go.
Coach, 4 home games down, 5 to go in this 9-game home stretch. What are the advantages of having the longest home stretch in the season at this point? Yeah,
it's great when it's handled right. Like again, we played at noon. I don't know, I'm home at 5 o'clock yesterday on a Sunday. I'm assuming our guys got to rest and recover yesterday afternoon and hopefully got ahead a little bit academically yesterday afternoon to set them up for a good Monday. We'll take Monday off as normal, and I'm sure they'll get in the weight room and move around a little bit today. But really, that's a day and a half advantage versus, last weekend or 2 weekends ago when we're on a bus traveling back and you don't get back to midnight or 1 o'clock. So the rest recovery piece is critical. I thought we had a really good week of practice last week. I think we, kind of had a little bit of a reap what we sowed early in the week last week offensively. Again, I thought we were grounded and did a lot of things better off. When you look at our exit velocities, I think Miller Ladisall led the way yesterday. He hit a ball 110, 111, 111. So that's just that for an example. Getting that extra practice or 2 in when you're at home is critical. So that's probably got me more positive than anything. Rest and recovery is a huge thing in our sport this time of year, but really just having some more opportunities to practice here at home. You've got your cages, we've got our machines, certain things we can do to kind of get ready. Where CBU won't have that this weekend. They're going to be traveling in and out too. So the same thing that we've done the first half quite a bit. So there's some advantages of being in your own bed, and the academic part's important too. So no, it's there's certainly the home field advantage is not so much on game day. I think it's pre-game and post-game and all those other things that fall in between.
And then you mentioned CBU as well. You 2 are at the top of this conference right now. We know why you guys are there. Why are they there?
Yeah, they're leading the league in a lot of pitching categories. So they're going to roll in here and they're going to be able to pitch very well. Gary does a good job with their pitching staff. But they, like I mentioned, they've got some physical bats, some guys that when you give them opportunities to drive in runs, they're going to try to take advantage of it and cash in on it. So they'll be as a complete team as we've played. I think when you look at our league, between just right now rankings, you got them, Grand Canyon, ourselves, Utah Valley we've seen, UTA we've seen. So it's going to be another one of those weekends where 1 or 2 pitches are probably going to define the game, and I hope that our guys are tough enough to be on the positive side of those one or two pitch games.